couple of trades on SPY and Qs, as well as discussing LIDR, which is a chart that I put up on YouTube here. So stay tuned to the end for that one. I'm going to be discussing that in great detail because it is holding up quite strong. And let's get into the trades. Give me a sec while I share my screen. One sec, folks. Okay, so what we have here, and the title of this is a perfect setup on SPY, and we're going to go over that here in a minute. So took a couple of shorts while we were waiting for the main short. Now, the main short that we wanted, today was a day that I initiated the size up day where it breaks our traders into the next wheelhouse if they qualify, if they've done all the right things and they've built their accounts up to a certain amount. Today was a size up day. And one of the trades that was designated as a main size up day was this right here, right up at highs. Came and smoked that 9 EMA perfectly, absolutely perfectly, absolutely beautiful trade for members. Now, I had to take off. I actually ended up deciding to go for a boot in one of my cars. So we headed over to the next town over down the highway. It was a beautiful day out and took advantage of that and was able to lock in some quick gains here on SPY and Qs. So let's go over Qs now first. So Qs was just a really quick short that came right into the 5 EMA. Now, it doesn't look like much, but it's more than enough on the options. So it pops straight up into the 5. I start in. Once it pulls back here, I pay myself. It pops back up, and I still have a few contracts and continue to pay myself on that, locking in $2,800 on that trade. Sorry, my vision's a little wonky here. Yeah, $2,800 on that. And then on SPY, this is a setup that actually works very nice. Now, the setup, again, and I can't stress enough, that we wanted was the 9 EMA. Now, because of how it opened up, it needed to squeeze up and come up into that area. I also said to watch for a potential remount of this level, which is a gap fill. And it did that as well. So members had the choice of a long or wait for the short. Okay. Now, I like to get in and out as quickly as possible so then I can handle and manage running the room as well, which a lot of people don't understand. That can be very difficult, especially with the attention to detail that we do have here at Tricktrades. So with that being said, once we kind of sell off, we pop back up, sells off again, creating, so it has a high, now it has a low, then it creates that lower high. It will then produce either a double bottom, because it will have to come back down to test that, or a lower low. It is creating trend. This is trend formation, okay? And initiated that trade short coming up into that level, and absolutely beautiful on that. Just a perfect entry, perfect sell. Again, it doesn't look like much, but it is more than enough on the options. Still locking in well over $1,000 on that, $1,650 on that trade alone. So overall, really, really nice day, locking in about $3,500, somewhere in that range. And now I want to take a moment to talk about LIDR. So I have found it very interesting how new traders react. And I don't want to make this long and drawn out because I am going to be doing a follow-up video on this. But on what planet did this trade not work so far? So far, it is holding that trend, which is exactly what I said. If we got over that, it would hold that trend. This is when the squeeze begins to initiate. Okay, and that's important to understand. It begins. It's not going to squeeze 500% in a bloody day, guys. If you think that, you are a mouth breather. That is not part of the trade plan at all. Okay, so on day one, literally day one of that trade plan, on that trade that I released onto YouTube, get inundated by comments on there about, oh, it's chopping sideways, looks like it didn't work. Do you realize that from entry at that trend, because it pulled back right into that trend line, it went straight up 40%. 40%. That is 40%. Of course not. That's ridiculous gambling, like lottery ticket type of bullshit. Okay. So I have just found it very interesting the way new traders' minds are wired. And this is what it boils down to. It boils down to why so many traders fail. Because number one, they don't have realistic expectations of the stock market or any trades that they're in. And number two, probably one of the most important reasons is they don't know when to zip it and listen. When somebody, and although I'm on YouTube, I do not consider myself a YouTube trader at all. And what is important for people to realize is you need to learn and listen to people that have been doing this for a long time. I've been trading professionally for a decade. Okay. I've seen a lot of things. I'm extremely good at what I do. I have found success. And the life I live is a life that very few people on the planet get to participate in. And I'm very grateful for the hard work that I've put in to achieve this life. I just put out a video not that long ago talking about advice. And what I suggest for people to do is to listen to people and take advice from people that have some success. Okay. Their advice might not be right all the time, but you should listen. You should absolutely listen. I have quite a few friends, and I've talked about this a lot, that have far bigger net worth than me and far more wildly successful than me. And when they speak, I listen. So to the people that write comments out there like that, you need a little more patience if you're going to become a trader. Patience is one of the most positive attributes that you need as a trader. And you need some discipline. Now, if you didn't have discipline to enter into that trade correctly and you chased it, somebody entered at 450 and then they wonder why they got dumped on. That was never the trade plan. That's not my problem. That's not my fault that you entered and you chased it like a lunatic. That's not my problem at all. Don't care. Not my issue, right? You were given the trade plan, follow that trade plan. If you do, you would have made 40% the first day, 30% the second day. Maybe you're still holding some, looking for that ride up, okay? So what I would suggest is if you are one of those people that typed in one of those nonsense comments, rewatch the video. You'll actually see what I was discussing is the mechanics of how this chart is going to work. And if you pay attention to it, where I start talking about how it ricocheted or will ricochet and it'll get trapped in an area, it did exactly that. It has literally done step by step what I have said it would do prior to it doing it. You have a real ability, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here, but I do know what I'm capable of and what my skill set is. You have a real ability to learn from someone that can really teach you a thing or two about the mechanics of the market, guys. So all I ask, just be respectful, listen, and I will give you tons of plays like this. Will this go to 500% guaranteed? No, that's not what I said. There is a potential for it to go to 500 to 800%. Okay. I have no idea if it will. And lastly, to discuss why a lot of new traders have a lot of fucking issues is they expect every single trade plan to work. It is a trade plan. That is it. We do our best to initiate these trades with the least amount of risk, with the highest amount of potential. That's all it boils down to, guys. And if you think for a second that every trade needs to work, well, for lack of a better term, you're a fucking idiot. That's it. So let's start using our heads out there. And to the ones that did say thank you and we're very grateful because they locked in, you're welcome. I do plan on releasing a lot more of these types of free plays because, again, 40% the first day, 30% the second day, and it's just getting started. It is still holding trend. As long as there's no wild news that comes out and it remains to hold over trend, this thing will squeeze. Now, there's a chart that I would pull up that would show you something, but since I got a bunch of retarded comments on the last one, I'll hold off on it and see if people actually want this level of education or if they can handle the level of education that they're receiving. If not, that's fine. I will save it for my members. No problem. I'll gladly discuss it in the room. Now, remember, even if this breaks that trend, there's a secondary opportunity at this lower trend down here. Okay. right down here. If you get that. So there is a secondary opportunity at this trend area here. If it comes into that trend, take that trade. You will get a bounce. And even if you're paying attention here still, from that level, when it bounces, and if it were to reach the next trend, you're looking at about another 30%. If it wants to break through and come into that range, you're looking at about 50%. So keep that in mind, guys. This chart has a lot of potential. There are still a lot of shorts trapped in it. Now, some of you asked about short float. All of that shortfloat.com shit don't work, okay? So I have access to a chart that shows me absolutely brand new shorts that have just got in and lots piled in today. That is beautiful. The plan is coming together absolutely fantastic. So if you want to actually learn how to do this in a professional capacity and learn from somebody that knows what they're doing, come to tricktrades.com. And I know this one was a little long-winded. I apologize for that, but I did want to go over that LIDR because there seems to be a lot of meatheads out there that don't understand how trades actually work, and they like to do a lot of this, a lot of flapping. So just setting it straight, chart still holding, chart is still intact. It's only been day 2, guys. Fucking relax. Catch you on the next one. Adios.